Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl here, Anastasia, on the ones and twos, threes and fours. So this makeup look is inspired by Storm. So if you guys want to see how I create this bomb special effects Storm look, then just stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified. And let's just get into all of this goodness. So right here, you're gonna see me taking the spoolie, and I went into my white face paint, and I'm just going to go over my brows, following my natural brow shape, and I'm gonna jump into some foundation, which is 2 shades lighter than me, to carve it out. I did the same thing with my other brow. My outer brow is going to be staying a little bit natural. You're going to see me tweak it a little bit more because I needed it to give a different vibe. But when that time comes, you're going to hear everything about it. So, yeah. And I did put on my white contacts off of the video, because with contacts, sometimes I need to let my contacts sit and set so that it doesn't affect me while I'm putting on makeup. So that's why I tend to put on my contacts way before I start filming. And this is me just going in with my foundation stick. I have 2 different shades, one that's very dark and one that's very light, and I'm just going to work these 2 shades together. I'm going to go for a very bright under eye, so you're going to see me add a brighter concealer under my eyes because I want it to pop. And if you notice, I'm doing my concealer and my highlighting a little bit different because I want to pull the face up. I want to snatch everything and pull it up to the ceiling, up to the sky. That's what I want to do. And if you notice, I have 1 bump on my cheek. Uno, dos, tres. 1. not me saying uno, dos, tres, and that's more than 1, but yeah, uno. That's how I break out. Not in hives or anything like that. So if I do break out in hives, I know something is totally wrong. But yeah. And it's very important when you're wearing a colored wig, especially if it has lace, to blend it with your foundation. So I'm just going back into the lace and blending it out to the best of my ability. I didn't glue down this hair on my head, so I'm just basically, working it, making sure it looks good and all of that. But I need it behind my ears so that I can work more effectively, and I'm listening to music, getting into my zone. So I want full coverage, so I'm gonna let that concealer sit down there for a little bit, and me focusing on my other eye. So I want a very crisp cat eye, but I want it to be very smoky. So you're just gonna see me add black. Then I'm gonna go in with that same concealer under my eyes to really carve it out and let it be as cat eye as possible. And then you're gonna notice it's very close to my wing, my brow, the wings of my brow, and I really didn't like that. So you're gonna see me going with some concealer and basically erasing the tip of my brow, and then creating a new brow shape. So you're gonna see me do that. So that's exactly what I'm doing now. So at this point, I'm going to be highlighting, and I'm going to be highlighting with this powder very differently. I'm going to let it sit on my face for a very longer time than I normally do because I wanted it to set, and I wanted it to be very much white. Not white girl white, but just white enough that the highlighted areas are showing. And if you can see, the contour give my face a different shape, and that's what I'm kind of going for, a more elongated look. So you're gonna see me really using the powder and trying to set my face and pull it up, back up to my ears. Basically, that's what I'm doing. And I did my big one with this music selection. I'm trying to give you guys a vibe, and I think I did just that. And you're gonna see me figuring out a better way to fix this brow, because as you can see, the brow is just clashing with the eye, and we need to do something about it. So instead of having the arch, I'm just gonna pull that brow very straight. Yeah, and that's gonna look even more fierce, just to complement the elongated cat eye that I have going on. And I think this makes much better sense, and it looks better too. And also, it looks more animated as well. So I don't know if you guys remember when I said that anytime you're doing anything that has liquid or foundation, you always want to set it with powder. So I'm just going in with the white eyeshadow to set my brows. And I'm just going to be dusting off all of the excess powder because it's baked enough that it still will give me that definition that I'm looking for. And I went ahead and add on my lashes on the black side and my setting spray. So right here, I'm going to jump into my Haus Lab bronzer. This is in the shade 12, I think. It's very dark bronzer. And you're going to see me basically just emphasizing where my contour is, and it's going to be a little bit darker. As you can see, it's very, very dark, but I love it for this particular purpose. And you're just going to see me going over all of the contour areas that I contour. Remember, I wanted my face to have a different structure, and in order to do that, I'm going to have to shade it. So I'm going to have to be a little bit more heavy on the contour, a little bit heavy on the blush. And if you notice, I'm just taking the blush really, 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 really high this time around. Yeah. So this is where the fun begins. I just take the black eyeshadow and I'm starting to put the shade where the lightning is going to be. So in order for the white to pop, I need to put something underneath it so that I can stand out. So I decided to go with black. Now, as you can see, I started it very little and teeny tiny because I wanted that teeny tiny kind of lightning effect. But as you're going to see, when I add the white was not doing what I wanted it to do. I don't know where my white eyeliner went, because if I had the white eyeliner, I think this would have been a little bit more successful. But I was working with a very loose, creamy white pigment, and the pigment just was not doing what I wanted it to do, honestly speaking. But I just, made it work regardless. So this lightning, I'm gonna be 120% honest with you guys. I don't sugarcoat anything. It can be done better, and I'm going to redo it at some point, but I think that it can be done way better than what I end up with. But when you have lemons, you squeeze them and you make lime juice. You can make a lime puree. You can make up and down turn over lime cake. Like, you can do all the things of the things. You're gonna see me switch from the brush to the opposite end of the brush, trying to see if I can get these strokes to look like how I wanted it to look, and it just was not giving me what I wanted. But I still pushed through. As I told you, I can turn anything into something. So at this point, I'm taking the same white and I'm just doing my bottom lashes and my top lashes, because I'm not going to be putting on any lashes on this side because I think it just looked cooler without a lash. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And as you can see, it doesn't really look like a lightening like that, so I'm going to have to put in a little bit more shading. That's where the more black comes in. Then I went over it again with more white and just going back and forth, trying to find a good medium. But yeah, it looked decent in the end. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh my god, I didn't do a good job, but I just know that I can do better. But this is also a learning curve for me as well, so I'm bound to make mistakes, but I'm willing to learn from them. So here you go, guys. This is the full look. All I did was just continue the lightening all the way down to my décolleté, add more shade into it, more black, more white, back and forth, back and forth. I add a black lip, and that's the finished look, guys. I hope you guys love, like, and share, and hit that bell to be notified. I run out of storage, so I'm gonna be doing a part 2, so look forward for seeing part 2.